Okay, mate. Out in this outback, I've been looking for two things to sink my teeth into. Booty or something extremely powerful to beat the top decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And since I don't see any Zootopia bunnies around here, I would only suggest that I done found a new powerful deck that I can get rolling with. I'll give you the information, folk, but I'm telling you, if you cross me, you'll become the bunny from Zootopia for me. What's going on with ya, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that's your day. Phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. Today I actually want to share with you my updated Scareclaw deck profile. I actually went X1 with it at locals, and since I actually upgraded it past what TJ gave me, I have been destroying the top Yu-Gi-Oh strategies. I actually think that Scareclaw has a ton of benefits, and in today's profile, not only will I be breaking down everything you need to know about Scareclaw at the beginning of the video, I'll also be giving you that deck profile of an upgraded version that can compete with some of the top decks, as well as budget options. And of course, big dog, if you want to see an type analysis of this particular deck, go ahead and check that out here. I can't wait, because without further ado, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about Scareclaw. Okay, big dog, so learning the Scareclaw deck is simple. This deck is built on being able to special summon Scareclaw monsters to your side of the field. A lot of them have a built-in effect that they can special summon themselves to an adjacent Scareclaw monster, and they give your boss monster Scareclaw Link monster so many great effects. Whether it's attacking multiple times, giving your monsters extra attack, or inflicting piercing damage, the goal of the deck should be summoning Scareclaw Tryhard with at least 3 Scareclaw monsters in defense position. That gives your Scareclaw Tryhard a attack of 3,900, the ability to attack 3 times, and of course, because we do have Balone, it inflicts piercing damage too. That should be enough for game. Now, fortunately enough, Konami didn't decide to just give us vanilla Scareclaw monsters unless we're summoning a big chunky Leap Boy. Easily one of the most busted cards in the entire Scareclaw deck is Scareclaw Rykart, mainly because I like to consider it as a Sky Striker Mobilize Engage, and not only searches you a Scareclaw spell or trap card, it can also draw you a card if 3 monsters are in defense position, and it doesn't matter whose field. There's also another cool extender from Photon Hypernova. It's easily Scareclaw Kashtira. Before, the Scareclaw strategy used to be weak to just destroying the first Scareclaw monster you see, but because Kashtira, we can easily just replace it with another Scareclaw monster and then keep going. It also helps that this card can attack in defense, meaning that our 3,900 attack Tryhard just got a little bit of a boost to help us go for game. Now, this is probably the only Visa's lore deck to actually use Visa Starfrost, as this card is really important for not only setting you up for synchro plays, but also since your Link 1 monster and Scareclaw Lightheart allows you to special summon itself from the graveyard to the side of the field, it can set up some really cool combos. And while we're on the subject of Scareclaw Lightheart, one thing that I do want to say about this card is that he ain't once per turn. My guys, so many players have used Ash Blossom, Infinite Impermanence, Effect Veiler on my Scareclaw Lightheart. All you have to do is just link summon into another one, and the crazy thing is that you can use him as a link material as long as he isn't in the extra monster zone. The field spell that you search in Primitive Planet Reichphobia will 100% give players so many fits. The sneaky thing about Scareclaw is that when your opponent does set up going first, a lot of times they'll set their monsters in defense position. Well, it just so happens to help your field spell to allow you to break boards. The 2 most important Scareclaw spell cards are Scareclaw Defang and Scareclaw Rival. Scareclaw Rival is a monster reborn that can protect your Scareclaw monsters, and Scareclaw Defanging actually takes the Scareclaw deck to a whole nother level. Typically, your opponent would be able to get over your Scareclaw Tryhard with a card like Dark Hole, or maybe a Link monster that targets your Tryhard. But with Scareclaw Defang, you can not only be able to destroy a monster on your opponent's side of the field by banishing a Link monster, it's also protected from all of those other crazy effects, making your monster damn near immune to everything. As you can see, Scareclaw is a very capable board-breaking Yu-Gi-Oh deck by not only having protections and destructions, as well as searches and destructions inside of some of its most important cards, but the trap cards are no slouch either. Scareclaw Twin Saw is basically not only an Icarus attack or Sword Soul Blackout, if you will. It allows you to be able to ban banish itself while a Link 3 or higher monster is on the field to negate all Link monsters on the field. To be able to prevent players from activating the effect of Link monsters on the field, this does not conflict with Scareclaw Tryhard because it doesn't activate to switch your opponent's monsters to defense. There's also Scareclaw Splash, which you can almost 100% ignore its first effect. Its best effect is that it's an Omni negation, being able to negate anything your opponent throws at you. Finishing up, we've already talked about Scareclaw Lightheart, but what we haven't finished talking about is Scareclaw Tryhard, a monster that can only be summoned with 3 monsters on the field, but its benefits are amazing. Not only can you switch all monsters to defense position, so unless it's a Link, it's going into defense. The great thing about this is that it can actually special summon level 3 Scareclaw monsters from your graveyard to your side of the field, and then get you a free search of any Scareclaw monster. This helps you summon more monsters to your side of the field, get into your inboard, and facilitate game. But now that you pretty much know everything you need to know about Scareclaw, I'm going to be showing you my deck profile. And for the people that did watch my stream version of the deck profile, I upgraded it yet again. It's actually really cool. Alright, so for the deck profile, I run 3 copies of Scareclaw Astra, 3 copies of Scareclaw Acro, and 2 copies of Scareclaw Balloon. I also wanted to keep my superior starters at 14, and cutting the Balloon actually got me there. There's 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir, 2 copies of Kashtira Scareclaw, and my 14th ideal starter is 1 copy of Pressure Planted Race. Any combination of the Kashtira or Scareclaw monsters with a Scareclaw monster of this is full combo. I was very happy with that. Now, I actually didn't include my 3 copies of Scareclaw Rykart as a part of my combo starters because it could be a combo starter, but then you wouldn't draw a card. Come on, guys, you already know I am greedy as here. I want to draw that card, but this still could be considered a starter if you're not into drawing cards. Primitive Planet Reichphobia, in theory, seems like a card that you would want to be able to start with, but you don't because you can search it. It's actually one of your least desirable cards to open in your hand. 1 copy of Visa Starfrost, 1 copy of Scareclaw Defanging, 1 copy of Scareclaw Splash, and 1 copy of Scareclaw Arrival. There wasn't too many times through testing where I ever needed another Scareclaw Arrival, and I just recently cut Scareclaw Twin Saw because destroying 2 cards on the field makes seem really good, but normally you side it in for games 2 and 3, and that's when it's actually showing what it does. Now, of course, I play an adventure engine here. I play 3 copies of Water Enchantress of the Temple, 1 copy of Wandering Griffin, 3 copies of Rite of Aramesir, 1 copy of The Fateful Adventure, and 1 Draco Bat. It's almost a no-brainer to play the adventure engine inside of this deck because you do not need an activated normal summon monsters effect other than your right card if you're normal summon. Now, for the disruptive cards, if you guys did watch my stream, I played 23 disruptive cards, but I was also on like 50 cards there. I actually decided to bring it down to 12, but it still serves the same purpose. There's 3 copies of Nibiru because I don't like losing the Sword Soul ever again in my life. 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Imperm, and 3 copies of Book of Eclipse. Now, there are 6 board breakers if you count Nibiru as a board breaker, and there are 6 hand traps in this deck. I have a combination of both of these cards to be able to stomp my opponent's board, and bonus points because Nibiru actually can provide 2 defense position monsters so I can start playing. Hey man, I was not lying when I was trying to get our right card effect as many times as possible. Nibiru helps us get that, and so does Book of Eclipse. For the extra deck, this is low-key completely different. We're actually debating on why I should play 3 copies of Scareclaw Tryhard, and I found out why through testing. Kashtira Unicorn Diablosis. That could be 2 of your tryhards. There's also 3 copies of Scareclaw Lightheart, 1 copy of Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, 1 copy of Access Code Talker, 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Cherubini, 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Dark the Dark Charmer, 1 Asa, 1 Link Spider, and 1 Baron de Fleur. Now, I bet you guys are looking at me like, where's the budget? I know there are some very expensive cards like the Adventure Engine and Kashtira Fenrir. Allow me to change that up. Now, this is a 44 card main board, so I only had to find 10 cards, and these are all pretty good cards. I was actually running Alpha Master of the Beast of last format, and this card is completely cracked with your Scareclaws. If you summon a Scareclaw, summon another Scareclaw, summon Alpha, you can bounce Alpha in a Scareclaw, summon the Scareclaw that you normal summon, then summon Alpha back, because they got 0 attack. So more often than not, you can summon them again. Reinforcement of the Army, Harpy's Feather Duster, Mind Control, and Change of Heart. I was actually running Mind Control, Change of Heart, and Triple Tactics Talent on our 50 card build. Reason is because when we steal on our opponent's monster, it's a monster that we can use for a Link summon. And I hope and pray that Triple Tactics Talent is not too much. But if it is, consider playing more copies of Scareclaw Arrival and watching my buy these cards before they skyrocket in price, because I Told you to get them when they were cheap. Better On Before does get a reprint inside of Maze of Memories, but you could switch it out for a Shinging. I actually really do like that Sword Soul monster. With the first combo I'm going to be showing you, there actually are multiple ways to be able to achieve this combo. I'll be able to show you both ways and which one do I prefer the most. But any 2 level 3 Scareclaw monsters get you full combo. We're going to go ahead and start off by normal summoning Balone. If you do have Balone, get rid of that one as fast as possible. Using it for a link summon into your Scareclaw Lightheart. Lightheart's effect will allow you to add a Primitive Planet Reichphobia. So now you're going to go ahead and activate Primitive Planet Reichphobia to be able to add Scareclaw Reichheart from your deck to your hand. And then you special summon the Reichheart to your side of the field to where Lightheart points to, allowing you to add a Scareclaw Defang or a Scareclaw Splash from your deck to your hand. I'm going to add the Scareclaw Defang this time around, and then I'm going to wrap up by special summoning the Scareclaw Astra, using these monsters for a link summon into my Scareclaw Triheart. And then on my end sequence, Scareclaw Triheart will be able to special summon Scareclaw Astra, and then I'll add another Scareclaw Reichheart from my deck to my hand. Now the second combo I'm going to be showing you is very close to the first combo, except you do a little different sequencing. Same Scareclaw monsters in the hand, and we'll go about it. Normal summon Balone, Balone into a Lightheart, Lightheart to be able to get your Reichphobia. But this time around with your Reichphobia, you're actually going to add Visa Starfrost. Use the effect of Visa Starfrost to destroy your Scareclaw Lightheart. And because you control Visa Starfrost on your field, you can special summon your Lightheart to your side of the field. Also, you'll be able to special summon your Scareclaw monster too, where your Lightheart points to. And since it's out of the extra monster zone, you can then link off your Lightheart into another copy of Lightheart, which will allow you to add your second copy of Primitive Planet Reichphobia from your deck to your hand. From here, we have 3 monsters on the field, so let's go ahead and link them all off. We'll link them into a Scareclaw Triheart, using the Triheart's effect to be able to special summon Scareclaw Astra, which will allow you to add the Scareclaw Reichheart from your deck to your hand, and then you can summon it to your side of the field to either add Defanging or Splash from your deck to your hand. I personally prefer the first way because it does allow you to get into your Reichheart as fast as possible, and granted through neither combo were we able to get 3 defense position monsters to our side of the field. But the reason why I like the first combo a little bit more is because if we fear a monster like Nibiru, we can get a card like Scareclaw Arrival instead of our Defanging, which can go a really long way for helping us combat some of our opponent's cards. Now for the next Scareclaw combo, I'm going to be showing you what is a step above Super Saiyan. Scareclaw Acro, or any Scareclaw monster for that matter, plus Kashtira Fenrir is full combo plus a little bit more. Keep in mind, this could also be Pressure Planet Raceworth. It can be the exact same thing. What we're going to do is special summon our Kashtira Fenrir, using its effect to be able to get our Scareclaw Kashtira, and then we'll normal summon our Scareclaw monster, using it for a link summon into our Scareclaw Lightheart. Now, Lightheart's effect will allow us to add a Primitive Planet Reichphobia, and now we're going to activate the Reichphobia, but in this particular sequence, instead of getting right into the Reichheart, we're actually going to add Visa Starfrost. I'll activate the effect of Visa Starfrost, destroying the Lightheart here to be able to summon himself, and then we'll summon Lightheart back to our side of the field, and if you guys can, you use it for a link summon into another Lightheart to be able to add another Reichphobia from your deck to your hand. Now, because we have a Scareclaw monster that we can banish or want to banish, we can banish that Lightheart to be able to special summon the Kashtira Scareclaw, and then we'll use all 3 linked monsters for a link summon into our Scareclaw Triheart. Now, Triheart will special summon, in this particular situation, our Scareclaw Acro back to our side of the field, and that will allow us to add a Scareclaw Reichheart. We can then special summon our Reichheart to our side of the field, getting a card like Scareclaw Defanging and an additional draw. That 2-card combo actually allowed us to get a Defanging or a Scareclaw Splash, an additional draw in our hand, Reichphobia for follow-up, but also we still have Kashtira Fenrir for a disruption, and we have Scareclaw Triheart to be able to apply pressure. Another combo I want to show with you is if you draw an additional Stinder, or maybe you need to get into a Baron de Floor as fast as possible. I'm going to show you both versions. One requires just Scareclaw monster and Visa Starfrost, or Scareclaw Reichheart, and then the extended combo, which pretty much allows you to go full combo, is an additional Scareclaw monster. So opening multiple Scareclaws is not a bad thing, especially if one of them is Visas or your Reichheart. What we're going to do here is normal summon our Balone and go through our normal combo, link summoning it into a Lightheart. Lightheart will allow us to get Reichphobia, and then we'll Reichphobia here. We'll Reichphobia actually into our Scareclaw Reichheart. From here, we'll destroy the Scareclaw Lightheart for our Visa Starfrost. And then we will special summon our Lightheart to our side of the field, and then special summon our Reichheart to our side of the field. We'll use the effect of Scareclaw Reichheart to be able to add a Scareclaw Splash or Defanging to our hand. If you guys cannot go full combo, Scareclaw Splash is probably your best bet. Keep in mind that this is 4 summons. On our 5th summon, we'll just synchro summon with our Visa Starfrost and our right card, we'll synchro summon straight into our Baron de Fleur. From here, you would use your Scareclaw Lightheart for a link summon into another light card, and that will allow you to add a Scareclaw or Primitive Planet Reichphobia, but more importantly, Scareclaw Splash is live to be able to negate an effect. Now, of course, in this particular sequence, we summoned a Baron on our 5th summon, meaning that if we feared a card like Nibiru, we would be able to stop it, but we'd also have a Lightheart plus a Scareclaw Splash. But what exactly what I was talking about to be able to go full combo with the Baron, it's pretty simple. We're going to go all the way back into summoning our 2 monsters to our side of the field and searching with the effect of right card. Instead of adding Scareclaw Splash from the deck to the hand, I would actually add a Scareclaw Arrival from my deck to my hand, and I'm going to show you guys how to be able to go full combo from here. We're then going to go ahead and synchro summon with our Scareclaw right card and our Visas into the Baron de Fleur, and then we are going to use our Scareclaw light card for a link summon into another light card. Keep in mind, I did say we did need an additional monster. That's going to be Acro this time. We'll special summon Acro after adding our Primitive Planet Reichphobia. We'll special summon our Acro, then activate our Scareclaw Arrival to special summon any Scareclaw monster to our side of the field, using all 3 of these monsters for a link summon into our Scareclaw Triheart. Now, Triheart's effect will activate. We will special summon Scareclaw Acro. I would normally always special summon Scareclaw Acro to be able to add a Scareclaw monster from the deck to the hand. And normally I would add Scareclaw Kashtira in this particular situation because A, I can summon Scareclaw Kashtira on my opponent's turn, and if my opponent ever decides to do battle on my Scareclaw monsters, they're going to be really, really afraid. But also Scareclaw Kashtira can help me prevent from being OTK'd, as it is a 2600 body I can just slam to the side of the field. On top of that, we have Reichphobia, Scareclaw Kashtira, and additional cards in our hand, meaning that if our opponent cannot win off of this setup, then we're going for game on the following turn. Now, you're probably wondering, where is the Big Daddy combo, Cali? Where are we getting the sauce from? Well, this particular combo is actually probably one of the better combos that the deck can do. It requires 1 Scareclaw monster, Kashtira, Ferrer, and Rider Veramacier, and I'll be able to show you the peak board for this deck. It is pretty good and allows you to OTK if you just so happen to be going first, though I would go second, and this is an OTK almost guaranteed. What we're going to do is start off by special summoning our Kashtira Fenrir to our side of the field, using the effect of Fenrir to be able to add Scareclaw Kashtira from my deck to my hand, and then follow up with activating Rite of Veramacier. Now, I'm going to use Rite of Veramacier for a token, but we're going to go ahead and slam our Fateful Adventure to our side of the field, and then normal summon our Scarecrow Acro. Do not use the effect of Fateful. What you want to do is link off your Scarecrow Acro into our Scareclaw Lightheart. Then we'll use Lightheart as Chain Link 1, Fateful Adventure as Chain Link 2 to be able to avoid Ash Blossom and Joy of Spring. We'll then activate the effect of Fateful Adventure to add the Wandering Griffin, pitching the Draco back, using its effect to equip to the Rite of Veramacier, though in this particular sequence, it does not matter, but you can sequence it a little bit different so it can. Then we'll activate our Wandering Griffin Rider to summon itself to prevent our opponent from using cards to be able to interrupt us any further. From here, I'll activate the effect of Primitive Planet Reichphobia, and to be honest with you, this is where most players want to stop this card. And if you negate with Griffin, you're still perfectly fine, especially if you have another extender in your hand, you still go full board. It really does not matter. We'll use Reichphobia to actually add Visa Starfrost from the deck to the hand, and then we'll activate the effect of Visa Starfrost. We'll destroy the Scareclaw Lightheart to be able to special summon Starfrost. Now we'll use the effect of the Lightheart to summon itself to the side of the field, and then we'll use it for another link into our Scareclaw Lightheart, which will allow us to add our Primitive Planet Reichphobia number 2 from our decks to our hand. Using the Visa Starfrost and the token for a Synchro Summon, we'll then make a Baron de Fleur. From here, because I do have a Scareclaw monster on my side of the field, I can go ahead and special summon my Scareclaw Kashtira by banishing my Scareclaw Lightheart from my graveyard, and now I'll use all 3 of these monsters for a link summon into my Scareclaw Triheart. I'm not done here. Scareclaw Triheart effect will activate. I'll special summon the Scareclaw Acro to my side of the field, and with that, I'll be able to add Scareclaw Reichheart. And because I control a Scareclaw monster, I can special summon my Scareclaw Reichheart, allowing me to add this time I'll probably add a Scareclaw Splash, and then drawing an additional card. So in this particular sequence, as you guys can see, 3 cards got me 3 cards back. This should be in graveyard. But what's really important is that I have a Baron and a Fenrir Interruption. All monsters are switched to defense. I have a Omni Negation and Scareclaw Splash, but if they don't fear that, I could have a Scareclaw Deflanking to prevent monsters from targeting, but more importantly, I will have game on the next turn. So it's going to be really hard for my opponent to be able to manage, knowing that they are on a time clock. And the last option combo I want to share with you guys is actually crazy. I've been cooking with this one for a while. I think that this is a very resourceful combo. You don't always use it, but it does come up. What it requires is any 2 level 3 monsters, but it also does require another card in your hand, any card in your hand, to be able to facilitate this. Without the card in your hand, there is a different line, and I'll show you. What you would do is normal summon your Scareclaw monster, then special summon your other Scareclaw monster. Whatever you do, get 2 level 3 monsters to your side of the field. And instead of going through our normal Scareclaw monster, let's say for some reason our opponent did banish all of our Scareclaw Lighthearts, we'll use both of these monsters for a link summon into our Cherubini Ebon Angel of Burning Abyss. Now, I actually do this when I need a particular card to my hand or to my field. I'll use the effect of Cherubini Ebon Angel of Burning Abyss to pitch Water Enchantress to the Temple, and now you guys can start seeing the usability of this. It's not always a combo that you will go into. It's actually a combo that you may go into a lot less frequently, but having the option there is really, really good. We'll banish the Water Enchantress of the Temple to be able to add the Rite of Aramesir, and then we'll activate the Rite of Aramesir here. Rite of Aramesir will allow us to be able to special summon. I'm going to use itself as a token again and get the Faithful Adventure. Now, here's the really, really cool thing. That was 4 summons, so our 5th summon can be Wandering Griffin Rider. A lot of times, if you do know your opponent has a card like Nibiru the Primal Being that will interrupt you, you can then just go right into this combo. And then if you have other cards, you can continue to pop off. But I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different. It's going to show you how much full value you can get from this particular combo. I actually use Faithful Adventure to be able to add Water Enchantress to the Temple, pitching that card from my hand to the graveyard, and because I control an Adventure token monster, I can special summon Water Enchantress to the Temple. Now, the reason why I like this particular combo is because it's the ultimate board breaker combo. I was actually a point in time where I was running IP Masquerena and Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax, and this was the way that I would cheese it out to my side of the field. Seriously, summoning an Avermax that can't be destroyed, can't be targeted, and is really, really hard to get over is a walking W a lot of times. But nowadays, I use it to go into my Nightmare monsters to be able to help me break my opponent's board as I'm going for an Access Code Talker. Or I actually turn my Rite of Aramesir into a Link Spider, and I just so happen to have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the field. That means any one of my opponent's monsters can easily be an Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, allowing me to take out any of my opponent's monsters just by 2 Scareclaw monsters, which I thought was really, really cool. And that's all that I have for the Scareclaw deck profile. I really hope you enjoyed it, as I did build this deck to be able to beat some of the top decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! But let me know what you think about the profile. Of course, if you want to see more amazing TheCaliEffect content, you can be sure to check out these videos, as I'll catch you on the next one.